are back. Another week of the Lookout. Recording on Thursday. I really hope nothing crazy happens.
I mean, the craziest thing that happened today was the Pokemon Direct. It's Pokemon Day.
Pokemon Direct. Shout out to Pokemon Direct. I don't know. They're definitely not going to drop the same day as us, but I'm just going to spoil everyone if it hasn't been a social post made for it already. But Mount Silver is coming back for an episode.
Hey. Yeah.
Shout out to the greatest Mills, Pat, and they're going to be joined by a very special guest, someone who is also very near and dear to my heart, just like those first two guys that I said. Yeah. But no, the new Pokemon stuff looks tight.
Hey, man, I can't wait for Legends ZA. You know, it's a different game.
Wait, don't mean to cut you off real quick, but we actually are recording now. Shout out to Sisters.
Oh, yeah.
Love you. Shout out to Sisters, man. If you got a sister, give her a hug and a kiss and tell them you love them. Sisters are awesome.
Yeah, I talked to Mom right before we started recording.
Yeah, man. Shout out to Sisters. They're great. But, all right, back. It's Pokemon ZA, because I want to call it Pokemon ZA
It is
so bad.
ZA, but we can call it ZA. It
needs to be Pokemon
the
ZA.
legendary ZA. You know what I'm saying?
The legendary ZA. That's my Pokemon adventure. I'm hunting the legendary Zaz.
Hey man, that's the pack that everybody needs to go get. You know what I'm saying? The berries, no. Poffins, nah. We need the Zaz.
We need the Zaz. But I guess what was your favorite part about it? I mean, it's huge.
Oh yeah.
We can spend a little bit.
Probably like two things. The biggest thing besides like Legends is the Pokemon Champions, which is they low key bringing back Stadium. They low key bringing back Pokemon Stadium. Is connected to Pokemon Home, you know, and it's going to be on Switch and mobile. You can bring all of your Pokemons together and battle it out. We ain't got too much more information other than Megas are in there. The Dynamaxing is in there. Yeah, that looks like the VGC, the Pokemon tournaments are going to be running Pokemon Champions. So I'm excited to see what comes from that. But yeah, that and Legends ZA, you know what I'm saying? Like we got to see a new gameplay mechanic kind of added in where
I do like the new battle form. That's tight.
That's the biggest thing for me.
If you're good at fighting games, you might smoke this.
Yeah.
If you're good at fighting games, this might be your jam. You're gonna fuck up.
I want to know if you could run up on your trainer, like run up on the other trainer. You know what I'm saying? Like wax them a little bit, because you know how like in the
hey, y'all call me the violent one. That's crazy.
No. Because here's the thing, in the original Legends, you could fight against the actual Pokemon without having to pull out your own Pokemon. So like I want to know if you can do something like that.
That's really funny. I didn't play Pokemon. That's funny as hell.
Bruh, like part of the game, I ain't beat the game, but part of the game I just spent to running around throwing rocks at Pokemon just to catch them. Like just to beat them that way.
Oh yeah, duh. I'm over here in my head. I'm like, couldn't you do that in? I think that was the only one.
Yeah, this was the first one that you could do it in. So that's why I'm like, can we do that in this one?
I guess technically,
like
in
Safari
I was saying the Safari Zone, you could technically throw it.
Yeah.
It's nice that you probably got to see the motion of the rock getting thrown though.
Oh yeah.
Add some more personality to it.
Yeah.
But no, the new battle system look cool. The starters. How you feeling about the starters?
I mean, they cool. I fuck with Tepig. I like Totodile, of course. Chikorita.
Totodile, I gotta roll with. That was That was my first starter I ever beat a whole Pokemon game with. We got a special connection.
Oh no, that's what's up.
I beat Silver. The first Pokemon game I ever beat.
I think that was like when I first got Gen 2 with Pokemon Silver. That was my first Pokemon, and then I went with Cyndaquil. But nah, Totodile is the one, man. Ain't nobody really mess with Chikorita, dog. I ain't gonna hold you. It's at the bottom of the list. And
Chikorita is the best. Ooh, hot take. Chikorita is the best grass type starter.
Oh man, there's gonna be somebody who I know is gonna hear that
Someone's
take
gonna
and
try to
be right
crucify me,
behind you.
but I've felt this way for a very long time. So this is
Oh,
some hot take. I've felt this way for a while. I think Chikorita might be the best grass starter.
that is a very hot take, brother.
That's a super hot take.
No, no Bulbasaur, no Trico, no I know Turtwig fans are out there. You know what I'm saying? No
Yeah,
Snivy. You know
hell no, not Snivy. Turtwig
what?
maybe.
What's it? Decidueye, you know, Rowlet, the arrow sniper, you know what I'm saying? Like
Man, nah. Chikorita was hard, bro.
in the anime, I ain't gonna hold you. I you know.
Yeah, you know. If you read the manga, you know.
Yeah, you right.
you know.
So that was that's a deep cut.
That is a deep cut. If you read the manga, you know. Chikorita a dog. Don't play with me. Do not fucking play with me right now.
Oh,
hell
man.
no. That's a man. I think that's gonna be my next full collection. Is getting all the
Pokemon Adventures. Oh yeah.
No, the Pokemon manga. That might be my next. I just finished getting the rest of Blue Giant.
Okay.
That movie was great, but yeah, I just got done completing Blue Giant and got the collection there. I think Pokemon might be my next one.
I need to get a new shelf. Like I haven't been in a manga collecting mode in a good little minute, just because.
Man, me either. But I did get this Barnes and Noble gift card. It had like $50 on it.
Oh yeah, you can get a good little grip. You know?
Yeah, so I grabbed a couple things. I was like, damn, I forgot how fun this is.
We need to go back to the manga halls.
Man, we do. Bro, I think we back. We back, bro. I think we got to bring the manga halls back.
Yeah.
I think there's something. This is my only issue now with reading, and once we're done with this, we'll get into more of my hot takes because Fishman Island.
This yeah.
There's some disgust in my voice. I just want you to know right now. There's some slight disgust, and I try my hardest to defend this throughout. I try my hardest because I've always felt that Fishman Island,
like the Noah. You know what I'm saying?
No, it did. It sank so bad, and we will get into it in a second. But just because we haven't talked, this is me and AD. We gotta talk a little more manga, We gotta talk a little manga, just a bit. I don't want to feel the vibes anymore. We gotta feel this again. Now, mind you, too, this is coming out. We recording this on a Thursday. Whatever happens on Sunday, hey, that has nothing to do with us at this point. We're at the current moment. But I will say this: going out and buying manga made me realize about how much I just love the feeling of like the book in my hand, the volume in my hand. Like that just feels it feels amazing. It's great. I wish that our reading experience wasn't always online and chapter to chapter like that. Like, man, we were able to get volumes at a quicker rate.
Fuck it. Viz, Shonen Jump, whoever, Shueisha, bring back Shonen Jump like physical volumes, bro. Like, or physical magazines over here, man. Like.
Yeah, man, we need that so bad. And I'm surprised it's taking them this long. That no one's really pulled the trigger on it. And I'm like, you can get obviously the Japanese ones over here, but like a full blown all English edition.
Man, listen, I would shell out for that.
I would literally.
Like, this is what they could do. Like, you know how they have like the monthly manga or whatever, right? But they could at least, if they were going to do it overseas, if they feel like there was some type of cost or whatever, at least do monthly releases. Make it like a thick little like magazine type book. You know what I'm saying? We can get all the chapters that released for that month, so we get like 4 chapters a piece of everything. That's a good little collection.
I mean, listen, they did a run 2002 to 2012, but it's just like the fact that y'all don't think. I mean, is print really that dead?
I don't think so, man.
The last issue they had Bleach wasn't done.
That's crazy to think about. That's absolutely crazy to think about. Naruto wasn't done. If
Done,
that
I
was
don't think,
2012,
fully.
Naruto wasn't done. Bleach wasn't done. I think Kuroko's basketball might have just been getting started. I think Hitman Reborn was going.
Okay, let's read
Yeah.
the ones that were on the last issue.
Okay.
Bleach, Naruto One Piece,
That's
Yu-Gi-Oh!
crazy.
5Ds, and
Siren is actually slept on.
And Siren was only ran January 2011 to April 2012. Not only,
Yeah.
that's what, a little over a year. But that was the last 5 that was in there.
But you know, a lot of it was also like merchandising and just a lot of different things that wasn't just the manga in there. So like, they could, you know.
You know what's crazy? When it was coming out in English, Slam Dunk, they ran that 2008 to 2009.
They used to do reruns of regular Yu-Gi-Oh, like the Millennium World stuff.
Yep. I was just gonna show that was February 2005 to December 2007.
Like I remember, and I'm like, I know Yu-Gi-Oh wasn't this like late in the game, but like they just reran that. They used to rerun Prince of Tennis a lot. I just wish I could have collected them back in the day because they used to always have them plastic wrapped in Walmart and Barnes and Nobles back in the day. You know, I could never like actually flip through them unless somebody else opened the book, or I would just sneak and open that bit. But nah, man, bring back physical Shonen Jump volumes. Bring back the physical magazines.
Where are the other ones? Weekly Shonen Jump.
And then there's like Jump Square.
That's
they never did those.
This is the digital app, obviously. Let's see. Oh, this is all published by Viz. So what else is published? An America. What's An America? That ran. Oh, it's still running. All right. What does it have? There's nothing in it. Covering anime releases, interviews, reviews. Yeah, nah, nothing on there. Shoujo Beat. That was 2005 to 2009. They ran Nana on that. That's probably the big one. Yeah, Nana.
I mean, I think that's the big one.
The big one. The other names on here. Yeah, but in general, it'll be fun to have some physical stuff back, obviously. But okay, we've blown by the first 10 minutes.
Good looking too, ain't no problem.
First 13 minutes. Hey, listen, just a little blast from the past. But we're here, we're back, we're on Fishman Island, we're wrapping up in the end. Last time we were here, it was the Straw Hat highlight reel. There was some bad hijinks that got Weepy Hoshi and which is so funny. But no, yeah, I mean Vanderdecken throwing the Noah, Jinbei and Shirohoshi, they're falling for that horrible balloon trick and getting captured. The Straw Hat highlight reel where you kind of see all their new power-ups. And now we're here. The Noah is falling. We're finally getting these final battles. We're in a moment that should feel intense and big, and here's here's the accumulation of all this stuff from the past, this social commentary, these prejudices, these racial tensions. This is the moment where we're supposed to be feeling like, hell yeah, like, let's go. I can't wait to see it. I can't wait to see the climax of this. And it fell so flat.
It did.
So flat. It fell completely flat.
It's so bad when we have a lot of moments in One Piece where with at least the Straw Hats, they have like their moments of, I have some tension, I have, some type of adversity I have to face to overcome it with in regards to helping Luffy out, whatever like that. You know what I'm saying? But no, not only do the Straw Hats, I'm gonna just cut to chase. Like all everybody had they flexing moment, I highlight reel. All the big bads for each of their fights get pretty much one shot. That's one thing, right? But then you have the fight with Hody Jones. So first of all, we gotta go into like Hody goes after Vanderdecken and Shirahoshi because she's flying away trying to guide the Noah out of, the area of Fishman Island. Um, because he thinks that the idea of dropping the Noah or having the Noah drop onto the island is a good idea. So Vanderdecken did something pretty cool, and so with Shirahoshi, she's trying to guide the Noah away from the island, take it up and out far enough so that it's out of reach and everything like that. Hody goes into the bubble where the Noah is, links up with Vanderdecken. He's like, "Hey man, what's going on?" Vanderdecken's like, I just had to have my little moment with Shirahoshi, you know what I'm saying? And then Hody's like, that's a good idea, but I got something better for you. Stabs this man in the chest. Tries to
So Hody feels betrayed here because he's like, yo, you're about to drop this thing on me. You're gonna kill all of us.
but
You're not even thinking. Like he feels betrayed. He's like, you're trying to kill me. And he's like, all right, but I like this idea. And I'm just like, why do you like this idea? It defeats truly the whole purpose of
yes.
everything you're attempting
He
to
was
do here.
stepping on his own cause and everything. I think even one of the fishmen, like one of the princes or whatever, says like, "Yo, you lost sight of your reason when they link up later on. Like you lost sight of the reason that you were even doing a lot of this shit." But it's also in that same vein of like he was really throwing a tantrum because he found out that he's not even going to be the one to like get to rule over Fishman Island in any way, shape, or form. So he's like, fuck it for real. Like, I like this idea. If I can't have Fishman Island, nobody can have it. You know, we don't even live here.
And and listen, we've
Yeah.
seen that with villains before, right? We've seen the villains go off the haywire where they hit the fucking button. They're like, you know what? I don't care about my life, your life, any of these people's lives. Fuck you. We've seen this before. We've seen it done in
Hmm.
ways that are really amazing. This doesn't feel that way. This feels like it just feels like he didn't really have a plan at all. Like his plan was so weak that he just kept pivoting. Or he was just kind of making things up on the fly. It didn't feel there's nothing about him losing it that felt very intentional or felt that we have led up to this point. His back has been such against the wall. He has exhausted every single option and he has been pushed to the brink of my brain snaps,
What's the
whatever, we
perks,
can all
man?
die then. This feels it was he was off the energy, but even this, so even okay, going into the energy steroid, a drug that is supposed to be like, hey, give these guys power ups and they're supposed to be so much better. It's this legendary drug. There's even a whole flashback moment when they first, when they first hit the block and they get their first brick, and oh my gosh, you can reproduce this, right? It's like when crack, real Franklin Saint, you can cook this, right? All right, like let's do it. And here's the thing that has literally been it has been a focal point since the beginning. It has been something a part of the story from the beginning. You don't really understand the importance until the end because you're just finally just like, oh, there's just this legendary drug that
Hmm.
these kids end up finding. Cool. But it's been a part of the story since the beginning, but it seems that it really didn't help at all. Everyone, all of them got washed, even on the energy steroid. Only thing it ever
Right.
did was make them get buffer, and they were able to beat lower level people. It's not like they gave the Straw Hats
Not
a
at
real
all. It
strong
was it
fight.
was it was supposed to be like the worst person who had a fight, or like the person who had the worst time was Luffy. And that was mostly because he was just in water. You know what I'm saying? So of course that's gonna give him a harder time than you actually being on the energy steroid, right? So like, yeah, man, this like for it to be a showcase and these to be the villains, like of the arc, I think it was more of, and I even Hodie's reasoning fell so flat. And I guess that's the point of the story. I guess that's the point,
Oh
like
my
it was so bad, man.
god.
Like they built that so
Wow.
bad. Like it was so much anticipation.
I hate the fact that they
Yeah,
did the fake
yeah.
whisper shit. It made us play into a whole other episode. Like, and then even the name of the episode, the real identity of Horty. So I'm sitting there thinking, like, oh shit, you know, we about to. And mind you, it's been like I've read this. I have not reread this since I read it. And when I read this was back in 2020. It's been 5 years since I read this. So in my head, I'm like, dang, like, what is it again? So I'm sitting there getting anticipating myself of like, shit, what was this twist that I just can't remember about Horty Jones? Is he somebody's brother, somebody's sister, da 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 da? And it was like, that's what you made me wait for? For him to say that his hatred came from the fact that he grew up around hatred of humans? Like, that was it. Like,
Right.
I knew that
Exactly.
already.
So when
That has been the whole point of the whole thing of just like the fact that the men and fishmen, the fishmen and fishmen district hated humans, and they hated humans so deeply rooted that it was like legit passed down to generation to generation.
but that's also the like it's so bad for him because that was the thing that the queen was trying to prevent for all the adults on the island. She was like, don't let this infect the children. And with Hody, like, because all of them were in the Fishman district, they didn't necessarily get exposed to that kind of talk. They lived in the ghetto, so they all they knew was hate. All they knew was to like torture. Like they stood up for each other. Like that was their community and everything. You know what I'm saying? So it was cool for what he was exposed to influence him like that, even though it really wasn't. But like,
This is really Oda's
yeah.
interpretation of the black community. He was like, once drugs hit our community, once drugs entered in the
Hey man,
community,
listen,
y'all were
hold up,
screwed
because
from here.
there's a certain fish or fish woman or mermaid that shows up in when we do the wrap up that I really gotta have some dialogue with Oda about, man, because that was kind of crazy. But we'll get there when we get there. Um, yeah, nah, the black community representation here is kind of it's crazy.
It was like, you guys were great, thriving people, had great leaders, and as soon as drugs hit your community, now all these YNs are running
Hmm.
around. Now, with all these switches and like, oh man, it was just it felt God, even the fights, like I said last episode, the way that they had attempted to build up the captains, and it was like, okay, obviously, we see all the straw hats have had some type of level up to their
Hmm.
power, to their whatever. They have some type of level
And
up.
all of them worked hard at it.
Um, they worked hard past 2 years of training. Right now, that we're finally seeing like were they doing in the last 2 years, how much stronger they are. And for me, for this to be the first arc out, I get it. You want to make them look strong, but to give them all squash matches,
And I think that was also the thing too, right? Where it's like where the Straw Hats faced
like it
all
was
of the
all
Straw Hats faced some
flosses.
type of adversity in their training and even in their childhoods to keep them pushing and going forward. But with Hody and them, they themselves did not experience a lick of hardship, not a single thing. All they knew was what the other folks around them were experiencing. So it's like, are you really working for anything like
Well, I mean, there's when Hardy and big brother
Fukuboshi or something like that.
brother Hoshi Fukahoshi. Even when we get to the brothers and they're fighting, and um no, obviously we knew the other two were gonna get washed. We knew that like Fukahoshi's gonna be the one to put up the actual attempted fight. And we had like 40 fake deaths.
Yeah.
I ain't seen so many people get slashed and stabbed and so much fake like blood fly out with no actual
No heads being cut
stab
off,
wounds.
like
Like even when Vanderdecken died, he stabbed him. Vanderdeck is like clutching his
right,
chest. There's no
right.
blood on the
No, the
shirt.
funniest part about that man is like he was still alive. So the Noah is still going after Shirahoshi. He tries to pick up a big axe to throw it at Hody. He fucks up and knocks himself out and kills himself, bro. Like
Well, is he even dead? They arrested him at the end. They arrested a dead
I didn't
body?
see
Was it just he knocked himself out?
I ain't see him in the prison cell. That's all I'm gonna say. I ain't see him in there.
Oh, all I know is that they chained him
Yeah,
up.
yeah.
He brought his body down and they chained him up. So if you chained up a
Hold
dead
on,
man, that's
I'm gonna
crazy.
look it up on the wiki because I don't think this. Yeah,
All right. But no, like and then even with the Fukahoshi and Hody fight, like Fukahoshi's telling them like your strength is fake. You're only getting it from all these steroids. You didn't have to work for it. Da 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 da. I'm like, okay, cool. But it's just like, man, this dude's taking handfuls of these energy steroids and having full body transformations, and the only person he's smacking are the other fish. He's not giving no Luffy any back. Luffy had more trouble with the Noah than Horty.
yeah, he's still alive. Okay, I had to make sure. Okay, yeah,
Oh man.
yeah, yeah.
So shout out to
But
him. He's still
man,
alive.
it's just a sad time. Like I think, okay, so we at least got to talk about the fight with Luffy versus Hody, right? Because even in this moment of like Luffy trying to go and scramble and protect Shirahoshi, and Hody's going after them and doing what he can with his little blade fin, trying to cut down the brother. Like, okay, it was kind of decent that he was stronger than the brother. I'll say that. Like the drugs at least made him that strong.
But I'm
I
not here for the
I know.
brother.
I know.
That's not what we're here for. We here for the. We here to see Luffy go
And we
get
did.
tested.
He did get.
He got tested by
I
a
mean, he
boat.
got tested by the water. We saw that. No, because like Luffy in normal circumstances, he would pass out the moment that he hit some water. This time, he was actually like trying to throw hands in water. Like that's a lot farther than where he's come from before. So,
And also too, we see Luffy pull out moves I don't think he ever pulls out again.
he pulls out for the first time. Okay, so this is one of the first big moments that I remember reading in the manga way back in the day, where he pulls out the Red Hawk, which is the Jet 2 Fire Fist that he mimics after Ace. So like you see the whole flashback of him picturing Ace and him saying like, I don't never want to see nobody around me die again, and then his arm sets on fire and he sends Hody flying. Like that's one of the hypest moments starting out into the new world. He pulls off something like that in Wano, like something similar. It's a Gear 3 version. I think that was chapter 1000 that we see that, either chapter 1000 or chapter 1001.
We see him pull out the Gum Gum Snake, which I
Oh yeah.
think we
Oh
don't
yeah.
ever
But
see
I
again.
mean, so okay.
And that was kind of a tight move. He
It
electrocuted
was.
him or
I'll
poisoned him.
say
Whatever.
he kind of uses Snake Man Gear 4 spoilers, you know what I'm saying? Like
But
when
is
we get there.
so I'm guessing that is supposed to be the evolution to these two moves that we never
I
see.
want to say so. I'm going to, that's going to be the case. It
Okay.
confirmed, but like
I'm
I'm
gonna
yeah,
buy that excuse. I'm gonna buy that excuse right now. I'm gonna let you have it right now. Um, but no, I guess he pulls off some cool moves. We
Oh
see the
yeah.
elephant gun Gatling.
Oh, that's actually one of the better moments too, where he pulls out the elephant gun, knocks Hody out into the ship. Hody starts talking crazy like, "Fall, Noah. I'm gonna need you to fall." And then he's like just sitting there smirking, and then he looks up, sees Luffy pull out another elephant gun, and just starts shooting the Gatling off, and just starts waxing this nigga, bro. Like the crazy that man had the face
It's
of
done.
horror.
This is how okay, now I get why my uncles and them used to get so mad at Tyson fights back in the day. It's like, man, I just paid all this damn money. See this nigga die in the first round? Like shit. Took 30 seconds. That's how I feel about every one of these battles. Like things just felt drawn out. It felt like even when it's like, oh, they're finally in some trouble. Like with Zoro and was it Hyuzan?
Yeah. Yuzo or something?
Yeah. Even with them,
Yeah, nah, that was a terrible fight.
Hyuzo,
That
he
was
does it.
disappointing.
You see him, yes, like you see him slice everybody up. You see how fast he is. He's so fast. He cut Luffy earlier.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying? Like he cut Luffy in the beginning.
And like he took
Yes,
all it no, him popping all the pills, all the steroid pills.
yeah, listen, and then when the drunker he gets, the stronger he gets, and he pops the energy steroid. Then all the captains pop the energy steroid. You see them once again. They get bigger, they get stronger, they get this, they get that. You're like, finally, we're gonna get a actual battle with some of these two. I'm not saying they gotta push them to the brink, but make it look competitive at some point. And it was just like, nope, we got an answer for that. We're that much stronger now.
Right.
He drips. We figure out that he got this deadly melting poison that he dips the swords in. Zoro not even looking.
Didn't do anything. Didn't do a damn thing. The one person who had to use like probably their biggest move was Chopper. And that he jumped into Monster Point, ate a rumble ball. He's able to control it now. And I think the big guy with the hammer name is Dosun or something. And he washes him.
Just steps on him, kicks him.
Yeah. Sanji is fighting the big blowfish dude, Watasumi, and just kicks him like no problem. Like a giant fish man. Easy wash.
Like I said, it all falls so flat. And I think that my issue with it is some of the things they bring up and that happen here actually have some very lasting impacts. Up until even like current
Yeah.
stuff.
Yeah.
The mentions of Joy Boy,
Oh yeah.
the multiple mentions of Joy Boy.
Whew.
And when you figure out like all of that, like this is the first time though it's been heavily implied. Like even King Neptune says that he met Joy Boy. Like,
Mhm.
you know, the mentions of Goldie Roger, the mentions of Whitebeard, like there's some things that happen here, and I think we'll get definitely more deeper into it next episode. Next episode is going to be something very spoiler heavy, just
Yeah.
for everybody to know. Giving you a warning now, but it's like you built these things up. You kind of built up this importance. You build up kind of this underlying story of oppression and slavery and what some of these characters mean with this flashback. How what like Fisher Tiger meant, or what Fisher Tiger meant with what Queen Otahime meant, what their missions meant. Like you built this up. And so it's like you get to this point and you got this guy, we even like going even into Arlong
Mhm.
going into Arlong where you're like, okay, shit. Arlong felt more put together and more of this. Like he may have hated, like you say, he may have hated humans, but he never hated a fisherman, would never put his hands on.
Right.
Like you'll never
Like
kill
with
another kid.
Hody and his gang, they were killing their own folks. Like, we heard you donated
You
blood.
know, so it's like, okay, we obviously see we're getting here to this point. We're 2 years into the future, probably 3 years since Arlong. Like, we're getting to this point, like, okay, we have now escalated to the big bad. And he felt just like
He was a little bro. He
nothing.
wasn't even a bit like he was supposed to be big bad. He was a little bro.
Yeah. Like it's like you just beat up little bro. And it just feels so like disappointing because it's like, man, you show the importance of how he has come from a line of guys where it's like you can obviously see the evolution of uh like the evolution of their mindset. The Fishman Pirates, people from the Fishman district.
Mhm.
And we're kind of at the point where it's like, okay, now we have, like you said, gotten to the most extreme point, and it felt like I said, it just felt flat, and it just felt like you wanted this to feel so much more important than it does, and it doesn't. It's like, that's so disappointing. Like this final battle felt so, like I said, the ending of it felt the most important, and that had to do with the Noah and the Sea Kings.
Yeah. And that was like, I think that was the more important thing, but like at least the build up surrounding it, yeah, for all of what Hody and his gang meant, what all of Vanderdecken meant, it was just not it. But I think at least coming out of it, we we won't have to necessarily care about them again. We won't have to see them again. And we got the background and backstory and at least development for Fishman Island, as a whole. I will say that. I will say that. For the arc itself, we at least got the development for, the things and the preconceived notions that we had of fishmen and how they were, oppressed and everything. Like I think this has been a full circle moment, even down to like um Luffy being injured and having to get the blood transfusion from someone, you know what I'm saying, towards the end of this. That was probably the biggest thing where everything just comes
Yeah,
full circle.
but like I'm saying, like that's great, but I don't know that final battle in an anime where I think it does final battles really really good. Like One
This
Piece
yeah.
gives you great fights. There is no questioning that. Um, I just felt that this final battle has to be one of their weakest, if not their weakest.
Um Yeah, with the caveat that it is the first of the new world. With That's probably the only thing. Because I'm trying to think of like final battles.
I I I rank this lower than Skypiea.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Shout out to J and D. You know what I'm saying? We did that episode for Subs Like Dubs Like this week, this year, this season.
Nice, nice,
Um,
nice.
but
I know they did the Gundam episode. I wanted to be on it.
oh yeah, that was hard. Oh,
Man, shout out to them though. Shout out to J&D.
uh,
Such a good episode though. Shout out to Amaru, the best top 3 Gundam pilot.
listen, I'm going into Gundam this year. I'm diving into
Join it, man. Join us.
yeah,
They're doing a movie too. They're releasing a new movie. I'm gonna catch it when it's on YouTube. It's supposed to be an AMC, but whatever. But no, it's just but final battles perspective. I think the final battle is always the moment where fans this is what we're looking for.
yeah.
We're looking for the big battle. We're looking for and it's just it doesn't like I said, it falls so flat. And while even watching it, I was thinking about, them when they're reanimating it, and I'm just like, this final battle is so bad, even if you cut down the pacing, there's nothing you can do that will save this.
Yeah. And I hate to say it. I really hate to say this as like a One Piece person, you know what I'm saying? But this is around the time where my love for One Piece was like it's still strong, right? But it was a point where I was like, I could take a little break from One Piece. I ain't gotta stay up to date for real. You know what I'm saying? Like, cause you get the sense of like there is gonna be a while before Luffy actually gets a challenge, or the Straw Hats actually get something presented to them as a challenge. If they were watching folks this easy out the gate, you know what I'm saying? Like, what arc could come up next that would actually present something to them where would make them sweat a little bit?
Well, we can talk about that next
Yeah, yeah,
episode.
yeah,
Or
yeah.
we'll talk about that because me and AD ain't done with the New World. So
Yeah, nah.
like I said, we're just hitting the beginning. We're just hitting the beginning. But no, I mean I absolutely agree. I absolutely agree. This is a bad taste moment. This is a bad taste moment, regardless of regardless of whatever. This does not feel good because you're just like, ugh, like man, especially just coming off of everything we just came off of.
Yeah, yeah,
Marine Ford, training, Saudi, impelled down,
yeah. Amazon Lily, all of the good. Like
Amazon.
that was an elite run. That was like,
Bro, everything that we're going into, then we finally get back to Saudi. You're like, shit, new character designs, they're stronger.
who's really gonna work these guys? Like how are
Man,
they gonna get tested? And no sweating. No, the most injured person was Luffy, of course. You know what I'm saying? But like everybody else, not a scratch on them at any point.
yeah, I don't know. It's just but yeah, you know what though? We wrap up next week. Like I said, there will be some spoilers next week. It's going to be a no holds. We're going to wrap up Fishman Island.
Hmm.
We're going to preview where we going next. We ending the vibes. We're trying to see what the Straw Hats come from here. What are we taking away from Fishman Island before we set off to the next one? But thank you very much for staying with us um on this episode.
Yeah.
And you know what? If you're a Fishman Island truther, if you're someone who defended it and attempts to defend it and attempted to defend it like how I did, I was like, man, this isn't as bad. This nigga saying like that flashback is hard. I think just the flashback, they attempt to make the flashback hold too much of the weight. That flashback holds too much weight in this story.
The ending evens it out a bit.
It does, but even then, it's
A little
yeah,
turbulent landing.
like I said, we'll get into it next. We'll get into it a little bit more next week as we wrap up. We see where our Straw Hats are going next. We'll see their lasting impact on Fishman Island, and we'll connect some dots and connect some pieces. But once again, thank you very much. This is the Lookout. You already know where to find us: YouTube, Instagram, X, Twitter. Find us at the Lookout RNC. Make sure you subscribe to the YouTube. Video content coming soon. Episode 200 coming soon.
Oh yeah.
We got something really special planned for that. Uh, you'll get me and Millsy back for a couple episodes before then, though. So listen. But me and AD, we are here. We are your captains as we continue through the new world. Thank you for listening. Peace.